Howdy everyone, Pete Daddy here. Welcome to the live stream. We're getting geared up for FIFA 21. I've seen so many starter squads. I've been working on starter squads left and right, trying to crack the code of who's going to be those meta OP players out there this year. There's just so many things. Let me get rid of that echo real quick. Sorry about that. Had a preview coming through. But I guess first I will try to reveal some of my starter squads, and then if anyone wants to submit me their starter squads. Icon Sbcs are back. I didn't see that, Adam, so that they bring back some... Oh, I see what... Yeah, for FIFA 21, I did see that, Adam. I see what you're talking about. I was thinking about the stuff that expired in FIFA 20, but I got what you're saying. I did see where they brought Icon Sbcs back. Have they announced everything as far as what they're going to do? If they're going to do icon swaps again, or is it just that the icon SBCs are back? But I'm really excited for that. We'll get to be able to pick the icon we want to work towards. Okay, so Adam says it's on Twitter. Let's go ahead. Let's check the Twitter. Let's check the... I'm on a different tab here. Let me just log in. What is my... Okay, and anybody wants to follow me on... Twitter, it's Pete Daddy FIFA. Let's see. Let's go over here. Let's go to the EA Sports FIFA Twitter. I don't know if it's on this one. Let's see. Which one is it on, Adam? Is it on the EA Sports FIFA? They have like a communication one too. Which one is that one? On the direct one. Okay. Let me see if I can find the direct one. I should be following these people. Alright, there it goes. FIFA Direct Communication. Okay, Icon SBCs. Okay, let's read about this from the pitch notes. Okay, I did see something also about some pitch notes. Hey, Dom, how you doing, brother? Okay, so in the pitch notes, okay, early access will be starting October 1, so I'm really excited about that. The web app, the companion app, usually the web app is out and working a little bit earlier than the companion app, but that should be September 30th. So we're talking about, what, just like 5 days? I mean, it is coming up on us. So, let's see. If you pre-ordered the Champions or Ultimate Edition, which I have the Ultimate Edition, access will begin on October 6th. So for the October 1st to October 6th, we will only have that 8 to 10 hours, whatever it is. Then starting October 6th, those of us who have like that Ultimate or Champions Edition, then you can just play. You're no longer restricted on that. You can just play. In previous FIFAs, there has been ways to get around that 8 to 10 hours where you can play unlimited. Last year, we never quite found a workaround, so I don't know if we will be able to find one this year or not. We'll just kind of have to play that by ear. But, we're talking about the Champions or Ultimate Edition, October 6th. Pre-launch objectives with a chance to earn a special early access reward pack, which includes an untradeable 80 to 84 overall player pick and a 10-game loan team of the week player. I mean, that's okay. You guys know how I feel about loans. It's not something that I am in love with by any means, but still, at the beginning of the game, we kind of take what we can get. And what I was doing with loan players last year at the very beginning of the game is kind of saving them. Remember, they count as first owner players. Now, I'm not sure if first owner cards will have any importance in FIFA 21, but that was something that had a big impact in FIFA 20. And that was the first year where first owner cards had an impact in the game, but loan cards count as first owner cards. So what I did, I had a couple loan cards. Like I think I had a loan Pogba, and I used him in the first owner Premier League objectives. But I don't know if we're going to have that again or not, but just keep that in mind for loan cards. Okay, so the launch of Season Objectives 1. In addition to more time in Season 1, EA Play members will also get an XP boost. Okay, so they're really pushing that EA Play. So, and again, we'll be going for level 30 rewards again once we start next year. I mean, I know for the last couple seasons, I haven't even attempted to get to level 30, but that's something we're going to be trying to do once we get there. Experience live foot friendlies first with the Three Nations themed live foot friendly challenge. Okay, that sounds interesting. That's one thing I've been worried about, where we didn't get a demo, and I didn't get the beta demo, the beta access, because I think where I switched accounts, I had it for FIFA 19, but it's hard to take serious the beta because they're going to change it some more. Plus, FIFA 20 or the current FIFA is still kind of playable when you get the beta access, so it's kind of hard to progress too far in a game when you know you're not really going to be able to keep what you're able to do. But I love when we would get the demo before. I would just play and play and play that in kickoff mode and try to build up or learn the new game. So I'm thinking friendlies maybe where I start in FIFA 21 anyway, just to kind of get used to the mechanics, get used to everything. Then the first opportunity to experience events with a head start in the Humans versus Machine community event. Okay, that's interesting. So I guess that's kind of pushing their little AI thing that they are talking about there. So complete the Humans versus Machine objectives group to earn an untradeable Prime Electrum Players Pack. Okay, that's something. So yeah, Adam, I mean, there's definitely some promising things. I mean, I guess what it all is going to boil down to is going to be the gameplay, but it looks like they are trying to do some things that will be fun. To celebrate this year's transfer deadline day, Early Access will also feature for the first time ever exclusive wants-to-watch content, including an SBC and a player pick vote. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. That'll be something there. Although I wonder who on a player pick on a wants-to-watch they wasn't already featured, but you know, that'll be something there. So log into FUT early, in-game and through the companion app to vote for the player who you think deserves a wants-to-watch item. So they will get a wants-to-watch SBC released during wants-to-watch. Okay. So here we go to wants-to-watch. Okay, so here's the Premier League wants-to-watch right here. Hey, Charlie, how you doing, brother? So we have Timo Werner, Ziyech, and Bale. I'm really excited about the Bale. The only problem, Premier League cards at the beginning are always so expensive. So generally, my advice is to avoid the Premier League early. It's just generally not worth it for what you have to pay. I mean, certain ones will be nice, but I mean, to be able to get Bale, I mean, Bale is probably, Bale or Timo Werner, of course, would be amazing just with that pace. I think they did Ziyech a little dirty on his shooting. I loved Ziyech in FIFA 20. He has really good dribbling, but I looked at his finishing. It was really crazy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Adam got into trouble. Oh, Adam got into trouble. Is gonna mess up part of his FIFA. Okay, well, it'll be fine, brother. You will get it out. Okay, here's some more wants to watch. Another Premier League one with Thiago Hakimi has got one as an RM. I'm kind of interested in this Hakimi because he's one of the few with a lot of pace and decent defensive stats. I've been trying. I've looked at this Hakimi quite a bit. That one is kind of interesting to me. Thiago is one of those who is an amazing player in real life. His pace hurts him a lot. Odegaard could potentially be usable, but still, his pace worries me a little bit. But this Hakimi could be really neat. The other thing to keep in mind with wants-to-watch items for anybody that doesn't know, say Hakimi is an RM on his wants-to-watch, and say that sometimes they play a different position and get a team of the week. So if Hakimi plays right back and gets a team of the week, his team of the week card would be a right back, but his wants to watch card would stay as an RM. So just kind of keep that in mind. Sometimes that makes him more valuable. Like remember 9-Golan last year, he got a team of the week as an RM. And certain things could make it link better when they're an RM versus a cam. So just kind of keep that in mind. It may or may not come into play on any of these types of players, but or, you know, say if sometimes it happens with strikers, like Timo Werner could play left wing for a game or something like that, or Bale could play as a striker for a match and get a team of the week. So, but their wants to watch card keeps that position, so just keep that in mind. So, okay, so pre-order pack content. Okay, for those who pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition, you will receive a guaranteed wants to watch when it kicks off on October 9th. The wants to watch item you receive will be based on when you open your pack. Okay. So, wow. So that's, well, maybe not. Okay, so we will have to keep that in mind. That's interesting. So, if we see the players we want and wants to watch Team 1, then we will want to open it this date. If the player we want is in want to watch Team 2, then we will want to open it on this date. So, I would just say overall, I mean, wants to watch is a great way to make some coins, but generally, I mean, just think about back to even FIFA 20, even around Team of the Year time, like in January. How many wants to watch cards do you see in teams? People get really hyped about Wants to Watch because it's like the first promos at the beginning of the year, and these prices can fluctuate like crazy. Like if you buy Timo Werner on Monday and wait for the weekend Chelsea game, and Werner scores a goal, that Timo Werner will just skyrocket immediately. So I mean, it's a great way to make some coins. It's a little bit of fun, but as far as overall use in the game, I found Wants to Watch cards are generally a letdown. Hey Kaiko, how you doing, brother? Unless there was, what was it, FIFA 19, I guess, had a Cristiano Ronaldo Wants to Watch item where he went from Real Madrid to Juventus. So I mean that one was a pretty big deal. Hey Fakra, how you doing, brother? So, but like I said, generally what will normally happen, Timo Werner will get, say, a Champions League live item or a Champions League group of the stage item that will be better than this Wants to Watch card. So just kind of keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so live foot friendlies. We're combining squad rules with the different house rules and friendlies to create fun and diverse new ways to play that will be active for a limited time. Live foot friendlies will present a new way to interact with campaigns, and yeah, that's all fine and good. I mean, like I said, I'm kind of interested in friendlies at the very beginning of the game to make up for that demo time that we're not going to get. But I think, overall, generally, I don't love friendlies. From some of the preview stuff, some of those campaign things were like to win prizes, to build out your stadium. That overall doesn't really interest me. Appreciate that, Kaiko. Thanks so much, brother. So programs, okay, in Foot 21, fan favorite player programs will be returning throughout the year with several improvements. The first of these improvements is with the introduction of the new Meaningful Moments feature. Okay, so Meaningful Moments, I remember them talking about this in some of the releases. They're going to base it on some things that happen in real life football. So certain special player items such as moments will now better reflect real-world footballing moments through specific upgrades to in-game attributes and ratings. So is that going to be, are there separate moments card? Okay, if Trent Alexander-Arnold was to receive a moments item to celebrate him as a dead ball specialist in previous games, his passing would have been increased to raise his free kick accuracy attribute. In Foot 21, we will be able to raise his free kick accuracy to new heights without also impacting his short and long passing to better reflect his on-pitch abilities in foot. So that's interesting. So previously they've said that they kind of have to scale everything up the same way. This is saying that they can change it just to impact his free kick accuracy. Still, I'm a little undecided on that, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, Flashback Eras highlight a specific period in a player's career, which will see a unique version of the player released to reflect that time. So they're going to be released with more authentic attributes of the player. So an experienced defender may have had higher sprint speed in the past with lower defensive awareness. So I guess they're saying, because what's weird is, and I've never fully understood this, why it's a problem, but they've always said they kind of have to scale everything up. So like when they release a flashback Zlatan or something like that, and they raise his shooting by 15, they have to like raise everything in that category up. This is saying now that they're going to be able to tinker more with just those individual attributes, which is all fine and good, but let's see what else is going on. League players return with some changes. This year you can earn league players with a static permanent upgrade. In addition, you will now have the opportunity to make progress towards earning league player items by competing in specific live foot friendlies. Okay, so that would make friendlies more worthwhile if you're able to actually win cards through friendlies, which that's kind of similar to, I've talked about this a bunch, daily knockout tournaments in FIFA 18. You occasionally had opportunities to win players in addition to winning that tournament, which gave it that little bit more added excitement. So to have new player programs debuting, so I mean they've got lots of different little things there. I don't know, like I said, I still think it's kind of like Wants to Watch. Ultimately what ends up happening is you've got these cards here. That's all fine and dandy for maybe the first month, but then when they get their team of the group stage card, and then when they have their random, or you have your Scream cards come out, for Halloween basically, and so then you end up with another boost and another boost and another boost on top of that, and so a lot of these may tend to fall back. So we'll see how it all ends up, what stays ahead of the power curve and what doesn't, but we'll keep looking at that. Icons, this is what I am really interested in. This is what Adam was talking about. We've listened to feedback and taken the learnings and insights gathered to revamp how icons will be implemented in Foot 21. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Firstly, there will be 4 versions of icons again. The base, the mid, the prime, the moments. Let's see. This version... Okay, so they're going to do the same thing. I'm not in love with this, but I understand why they do that. So the base version will be in packs from... Okay, so the base and mid versions will be out at the beginning of the game, and then the base version will expire in December, and the mid version will expire in February. The prime version will not be released until December, and it will be available until the end, and then the moments does not come in until February. So basically Team of the Year time is when we'll start getting the moments cards, and we'll start getting the even higher boosted cards. So, I mean, that's fine. Honestly, I think the reason they did this is the people, like the competitive, the pro level type people that do spend those thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds or dollars or whatever currency you're in. They would, a couple years ago, Prime was released at the very beginning of the game, and so they would already have Prime Hullet, Prime R9. They didn't have to spend any more. Doing it this way, they can only get that mid Hullet or mid R9. Then when you release Prime, then they've got to spend again to get that Prime version. Then you release the Moments version, then they've got to spend again to get that Moments version. So I really feel like that's what it is. They kind of clouded under, which I understand that too, they kind of clouded under not wanting to shake up the power curve too much because of someone packed Moments Hullet or Moments Eusebio at the very beginning of the game maybe would be a bit of an unfair advantage. But yeah, I think that's ultimately what it is. Dom says co-op Ultimate Team will be 5 divisions. Okay, that will be interesting. Okay, this is what I'm most excited about. Icon SBCs are back. So specific icons by completing select SBCs. So the first Icon SBCs will be introduced from late November. They will be available long-term, but not permanently, okay? So specific versions of icons will only become eligible for SBC release after they've been released in packs for a period of time. So that means we're not going to get Prime, even Prime Roy Keane. We couldn't get Prime Roy Keane in November. We could only get Prime Roy Keane after December, and probably after he's been in packs for a couple weeks. So after an Icon SBC expires, it may be re-released. The challenge that may also be updated. Icons may be used as requirements in SBCs. Hey Jack, how you doing, brother? So that's another thing that they took away in FIFA 20 that they're bringing back, and that was something I liked. It was like if you crafted an icon or you had an icon, this year if you pull, say, or FIFA 20, let's see, if you pulled like Inzaghi or something like that, he's pretty much, you're just going to throw him into another SBC. But in previous FIFAs, you could use that Inzaghi to go into an icon objective, and then you got an ultimate pack. It was either an ultimate pack or a jumbo rare players pack. It was one of those top 2 packs that you could get back for submitting an icon. So it's still, even if you had a crappy icon, they still were worth 100,000 to 125,000, just depending. I'm kind of thinking maybe it was jumbo rare players pack, but it might have been an ultimate pack. But either way. Dom says you can do multiple co-op teams and not restricted to the one, but not 100% sure if that'll be the case. I feel like you probably could do that. I don't know exactly how that will work, Dom. I'll be really interested to do the co-op. Definitely looking forward to playing some co-op with you guys. I know Dom and I have talked about doing that some, and would love to be able to get done with some of this co-op stuff, see what all we can do. Then, lastly, the hugely popular, the most popular thing ever, the hugely popular icon swaps will also be returning. So it's going to be the same thing. Complete player token objectives, earn player tokens, redeem for icons. So, I mean, that's fine. And in my opinion, this is how it should be. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure for content, we're going to grind out icon swaps. But as far as when you think about what icon swap players lasted in any teams, it was really 0 of them. I mean, maybe if you would have taken that, who did we have in icon swaps 3? We had Cannavaro. If you'd have taken his moments, you maybe would have played with him for a little while. I don't know, but I mean, pretty much any icon swap players did not have any staying power. but they're fun to do. It's something different to grind for, and like I said, those first owner cards may still be relevant, so kind of keep that in mind. Oh my gosh. So Icon Swaps 1 will not start until December. Definitely dumb. Eto is one I'm really looking forward to. So Icon Swaps 1 will not start until December. That is crazy. There will be a greater mix between Icon and pack rewards. Okay, so that's going to give us more, probably, I guess, Icon packs. You know, last year we did an Icon Swaps 3. I think you could get a Prime Icon pack, and we got Ryan Giggs, which was terrible. Pack rewards will be made available at lower player token values to allow more players to engage. No specific version of an icon base released through an SBC will be released again through icon swaps and vice versa. Yeah, Jack, I agree. Most icons will be unusable by December. Definitely by January, around Team of the Year time. You know, once you start getting into some of these bigger promos, you know, you'll have Foot Miss, you'll have then you have Team of the Year, Future Stars. You know, all of that type of stuff is just going to render so many of these cards worthless. It'll be similar to previous FIFAs. There's going to be, you know, 10 or less icons that are worth having in your team. I think this year they did add a couple high-level icons with Puskas, with Eto, with Cantona. I think there was one more that maybe would be worth having, but other than that, I really don't know. Okay, here's what I was talking about earlier, actually. So the web app is going to be available September 30th. So if you want to be active in the game September 30th, it needs to be on the web app, and on mobile on October 1st. And I've talked about this before too. I don't know if this is still the case, but in previous FIFAs, you have had to have two-factor authentication enabled to be able to log in early. Hey, I'm Babu. How you doing, brother? So, you know, I don't know if that's one of the problems or what it is, or if that's going to make a difference this year. I don't know for sure. So competitive gaming viewership, brand new competitive gaming, link your Twitch and EA account, will earn a player token. Okay, that's whatever. That's whatever. You've got your new Liverpool Thiago top. That's hot. That's hot, and Babu. That's hot. All right, preseason rewards will be granted those by October 16th. That's in some ways, that's because honestly, by October 16th, those 80+ overall packs, unless you pack something amazing, they're going to be pretty much worthless. So I think that is a little bit frustrating because I'm hoping they should be granted basically like the first time you log in my opinion, because that's when they would have their value. But so this is just the start of what we have planned for FUT 21, and we're excited for you to experience all the above and so much more. What is set to be the biggest year of live content in FIFA history. So, I mean, all of that sounds great. I don't have any problems with any of that stuff. You're going on holiday for 3 days. Oh, my goodness. You're going to have to cancel that. You're going to have to get your priorities straight, and Babu. You're going to have to get your priorities straight. But let's see. Let me go ahead. Let me reveal my team that I am thinking of starting with. We go ahead and get this up here. I'll show you what. Hey, Ivan, how you doing, brother? But just to give you an idea, my starting team that I'm looking to build, and this is probably not what I'm looking to do my first like weekend league with, or my first, because you got to remember we're gonna have almost 2 weeks before we get into weekend league. This is probably the starter team I'm hoping to craft to pretty much boss squad battles. I may even go for a top 100 squad battles position. I'm not sure. I don't know if I can put that time commitment into squad battles. I get excited for squad battles for at the very beginning, but still, even after a few games of playing the AI, it's just, you kind of lose your interest in it, but we'll see how that goes. Sorry, so many ads on Footbin. I need to get like a blocker on here, but anyway, let's see. Let me just show you what I'm going to do. If you want to send a link to it on here, and Babu, that would be perfect. If you can just send that link from Footbin or FootWiz, wherever you made it. I think I saw it unless you changed it the other day. But if you just want to send a link on here, would be perfect. Then I can click it. But what I am going to do for my Bundesliga, there's a lot of really strong Bundesliga cards. Like I know I'm looking at Zakaria. I'm looking at Alaba looks amazing. So, I mean, there's lots of really strong Bundesliga cards. I don't love the Bundesliga attackers or much. I'm not sure, Mbabu. I can try, or if you want to try to send it, I don't know, Mbabu. Whatever you want to do. You can even type it out. I can put it out here too. So Bakambu, the reason I like him, I'll try to focus and also explain to you why I'm picking these guys so you can understand how I'm building my team. I've put way too much time into exploring all of these, looking at so many cards. But what I really like about Bakambu is his pace. And then his agility is decent for someone who is strong at 6 foot. But what I'm most interested in is positioning of 84 and finishing of 84. I did a video recently talking about how EA seems to be really stressing positioning. And there really aren't that many high attack positioning cards out there. That most of these guys I've seen on starter squads are 78, 80. Bakambu's got a little bit of an advantage there, and one thing they said on the pitch notes that they said 85 attack positioning may be good, but 90 would be significantly better, and 99 would be exponentially better. So if I've seen different things on the Deadeye Chem style for FIFA 21, if the Deadeye Chem style is still plus 15 to attack positioning, that would take Bakambu to 99 attack positioning. I've seen some things, though, that say Deadeye is only going to be plus 10 to attack positioning. So that could make a difference right there. So I don't know for sure. We'll see what happens there. But I'm really liking Bakambu, and I think I'm going to play him as my striker. The team that I'm giving to you right now is how I'm setting it up for chemistry purposes. Then I'll show you how I would play it in game. So Bakambu is going to go right there. And then let me go to this guy right here. This is a legend from my last year starting squad, but Alex Teixeira. And I actually played with his Team of the Season card for a good bit too last year. I really liked it as well. I'm actually going to play Teixeira up the wing. And what I really like about Teixeira, let me just show you guys just so I can give you the backing on all of this stuff too. I'll appreciate that, Dom. So Teixeira has even more pace than Bakambu, and that's why I'm going to put him out on the wing. Last year he was my striker. This year he's going to be on one of my wide cams. But I love his acceleration and his sprint speed, and I love his agility of 91. The other thing I like is that he's high-low work rate, so he's going to really try to make those runs up the wing for me, and then we'll try to figure out how to get him back to do some defending. His positioning is not bad at 80. It's still in that green level, but his finishing is not as good as Bakambu's this year. I don't remember if that's a downgrade or not, or if that's just what it was, but we're going to go ahead and go with Alex Teixeira as one of our wide cams. Then I'll show you who I'm going to run out here. I'm thinking this is one I would definitely want to upgrade by the time I get to more competitive play. But this Rafinha card looks really strong. And the reason I'm liking him, I've done some filters trying to find some of the wingers with the best attack positioning. His is actually 81. So when you combine his pace, his agility, and his decent attack positioning, he seemed like a great option to be as one of my wingers. So I'm really liking this Rafinha out wide. He will be one of my wide cams. And then if I go back over here, on the other side, I really don't know, Mbabu. I don't know if you can cancel that or not. I'm sure EA would love to help you out with that for sure. And then my other attacker, what I'm going to have out here, and this one could change depending on how expensive he is. Generally, the cards from the lower divisions, I mean, this could be a 4,000 to 8,000 coin card. I could not see it going over, say, 10,000 coins. I mean, with the Portugal links, it potentially could, but I just don't see it going for that much just because he's Liga NOS. It's generally not what people are going to do. Yeah, I saw that LJDG. That is exciting. I'm so glad. I made a video last year about how much I hated icon swaps and how much I missed icon SBCs. So I'm so happy to see that. But Rafa is going to be like not cheap, but I don't think he's going to be expensive. And what I love about Rafa is his pace, his agility. If you look at his dribbling, it is really top notch. He's got 87 dribbling. So I'm going to be able to really use him out on the wing. And look at his positioning, 83. And if you remember from that video with the attack positioning, but Oh, definitely Mbabu. I was talking about that earlier. I'm hoping there will be a glitch where we can have unlimited time in the game. That would be absolutely amazing. But Rafa, 93 acceleration, 94 sprint speed, 90 agility, 89 balance. Just amazing dribbling for an early card. So I'm really looking forward to Rafa. He's going to be one of the more expensive ones, I think, from what I have out here. But I think he's going to be worth it. So that's going to be Rafa. Then to go to my midfield, this is going to be my two-way CDM, basically. And I'm a little worried about him because he doesn't have the greatest defensive stats. But mainly my two-way CDM, I'm doing more to get up and back. Definitely send it over here, official NRTV, or just call you Vipers. That'll be perfect. Hey, Danilo. But yeah, definitely send it over, Vipers, and I'll definitely take a look at it. But what I'm really liking about Talisca, I've played with him in previous FIFAs. He's tall, so I'm slightly worried he's going to feel a little bulky. I even thought about making him my central cam, but I think with his height of 6'3", definitely Danilo, appreciate that, brother. But definitely with his height, he's, I think, going to be a presence. So even though he doesn't have the best defensive stats in the world, he is a little bit of a presence out there, and he's got 75 strength, which is nice. Good stamina. But what I really like, his agility is 87, so I think he's going to move nicely, and he's got 84 acceleration. I've talked about that. I would rather have more acceleration than sprint speed than the other way around. His shooting is nice, his passing is nice, his dribbling is nice, so I think he's, from a two-way CDM, that's generally who I have. Like, I had the 99 Kevin De Bruyne there. I had that 96 Luka Modric. So those are the players that I want to get involved, both getting forward and a little bit coming back. I'm not asking them to be Contes back there or anything, but that's a card I really like. My main defensive midfielder who I'm going to use is Paulinho. Not Paul Scholes. Let's see. Paulinho, okay, so the one thing I really like about Paulinho, one thing I like to do early in a game, if we just look at all the players, I'll show you something, a filter that I like. Let me just get it on. So generally when I'm looking at it, I just like to filter it to all gold early on. And then I filter by in-game stats. So this will tell you who has the most overall in-game stats, just basically who's good everywhere. Last year, Vidal was actually the #1 gold card for in-game stats, and a lot of people were playing with him. But if you see this year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Paulinho is the number 6 for in-game stats. Paulinho, I don't think he will be, I mean, he'll be a little expensive again. We're probably talking, last year I had to pay, I think, about 6,000 coins, and he was 84 rated last year. He's actually a rating down. So generally, I mean, he's not going to be like 1,000 coins by any means, but this team right here, I'm talking about for bossing squad battles. So Paulinho, he's not going to be the cheapest in the world, but he's not going to be crazy expensive either. It's not going to take us long to build up 5,000 to 10,000 coins. Now, if you're someone that just wants to go at the game, then that may not be what you do. But I've talked about the way I approach the game. I'm going to do my squad battles first. I like to build up a nice competitive squad before I just go willy-nilly. But because I'm trying to, I want to make my climb to Division 1 as quick as possible. I want to be able to hit Elite and Weekend League as quick as possible. So I'm trying to build up a decent team. And this is probably the first year. I'm still not 100% decided, but I don't think I'm going to spend any money on packs this year. I just can't, in good conscience, give EA any money. But the other one that's interesting on this list, if you look at this Marcus Acuna right here, I've looked at this card a ton. I do not think he would be a good left back, but if you had someone you could switch from like a CM position or something like that, or even some of these LMs that have some high defending, if you had someone that you could switch to left back, Acuna could be a really nice defensive midfielder for you. So just keep that in mind. But like I said, this in-game stats filter is a nice filter, just gives you a nice, adds up basically every single in-game stat, and it can show you who are those more complete players. Like Wijnaldum is one that I'm really eyeing for kind of my first weekend league team or first super competitive team. This Wijnaldum card looks really strong this year. I've always loved Nangolan, so I really like that. And then you see this random Emre Can. He's somehow become FIFA 21 legend already, but we'll see how he comes. Alaba looks really strong. I mean, there's several Bundesliga cards that look really strong as well. So Paulinho is who I'm going with right there, and that's the main reason. Again, the other thing I like about Paulinho, he's one of the, or not one of the few, but not a lot of them have the high defensive awareness. So what I would want to put on Paulinho would be a shadow if I want to spend that much. I don't know that you got to remember, chem styles will get really expensive, so what I maybe would even do is buy something like a catalyst, which would be a lot cheaper. I don't know, or maybe I can buy one from someone who had already put a shadow on them. Okay, perfect, Danilo. I'll look for that, brother. I will grab it in just a second. Or if you can, Danilo, can you paste the link on the web into the chat? That would be the easiest if you can do that, brother. But let's see here. Okay, so Paulinho, I'm really like, just overall really strong in-game stats. And so then we go to my back line to link Rafa. I'm going with Grimaldo. He could be a little expensive as well. I may have to change this opening here with Rafa and Grimaldo. I'm not for sure because they could be a little expensive. But if you can buy them early, also remember at the very, very beginning of the game, some of these cards will be a little bit cheaper because the coins aren't free-flowing as well. So if you're able to do some of this stuff during early access, you can get some of those 83 and 84s for a little bit cheaper. So Grimaldo, I think, will be really nice, and also with a perfect link to Rafa. But the great thing about this 4-5-1, I've got it set up to where I can get any LM, LB link on this left side and also on the right side. So for my right back, I'm going to go with Traore, who will link Rafinha. That gives me a nice option on the right. Decent pace. I would like to have a little bit more pace at right back, but that's what I'm going to go with. For my defenders, I'm going to have Marc Bartra right here, and I'll explain these two. Let me just put both of these out here. And Mario Hermoso. So the reason I am picking Bartra and Hermoso, let me just find them. Mario Hermoso is the one I'm most looking forward to. And Hermoso, the reason is he's got solid pace for a center back, but look at this, 75 agility. And I'll show you another filter I like. I've talked about this last year. You can have these really pacey center backs, but if they can't move with those attackers coming at you, then they're just not that good. So sometimes those, unless they've just got some epic stuff, like Virgil van Dijk is one who's just so big and strong and overpowering in game that he could maybe have less agility. But you're talking about if you can't move your defenders, and it makes it really hard to make them worthwhile. But let me just show you another filter right here. Get it back on all gold. And we're going to go to position center back. And then this is a filter I like right here. You can filter the stats you like. So if we look for, again, too many ads on Footbin, but I guess everybody wants to make money. We filter it to 75 agility. There are only five center backs in the game with over 75 agility. Sergio Ramos, who I would die to have. I'd love to have him for my first weekend league team. I'm hoping everyone's going to be on Varane or maybe Militao. I mean, certainly people will be on Varane, but personally, I would rather have Ramos over Varane. Alaba looks really strong. Then you look at Mario Hermoso as one of the 5 center backs with over 75 agility. So to me, that makes him very worthwhile. Plus, he has a good bit of pace, solid defensive stats, decent physical. I mean, you even look at Alaba. Alaba, that's the one thing I don't like about Alaba, is that he doesn't have the physical, but he's got all the movement. But this Hermoso looks really strong. Murillo, I think, would also be a nice option. He's just very hard to link until you get, maybe if we could get to Alejandro Gomez at some point, who is a card I really, really like. And then also this card right here, I've seen in a lot of starter teams. I couldn't find. See, that the problem is, if you want to link someone like him, you're gonna have to play. You're either gonna have to play him on 7 or 8 chemistry, or you're gonna have to link him with someone that you just don't want in your team, and that's just what it ultimately came down for me. You don't want to put one card in that's gonna weaken the rest of your team. So the Clinton Mata looks amazing, but I just couldn't. Same thing with Iko Para. He looks amazing. You just couldn't quite fit him in there. So that's the reason I went with him. Then if we look up Marc Bartra, I'll probably have to change this. Okay, so Bartra is another one. He's one of the few with over 70 agility. So let's do that filter one more time. Let's just go back. Let's change our filter to, let's just make it 71 agility. silly pop-ups. 71 agility and filter. So if you see here, there's still not even that many with over 71 agility. And I've preached this and preached this and preached this. Even in previous FIFAs, agility is important for defenders. Agility was super, like almost... If you didn't have agility, you couldn't do much in FIFA 20, but even in previous FIFAs, the agility helped. It just makes you move quicker. So Bartra is one of the few with even over 71 agility. This Koundé looks nice. If you wanted to do some French leagues, I may even try to do something like that. Like I'd love to get Matuidi into my team. I'll show you another filter in a minute that I really like, but just not a lot of agile center backs this year. So that's one reason. So I'm going with Bartra, and I'm going with Mario Hermoso as my starting center backs. Then as far as a keeper goes, I'm just trying to find one. I'll show you who comes up under the, well, I don't see the suggested link now, but the reason I'm going with David Soria is he is 6'4". So generally if you have some height as a keeper, it just gives you some extra advantage. We'll try him out and see, but you know, we've got plenty of opportunity for improvement. But this is a team I'm going to look to build to boss squad battles with, and we'll see what my interest is. If I do try to go for top 100 in squad battles, I don't know. I generally can beat the AI fairly handily. I start losing interest in it, but I think this will be a really nice team, so I'm excited to go with this. I think a lot of them will be reasonably cheap, but oh, good job, Danilo. You went with Soria as well for sure, brother. So I think that will work out nicely. So that's the team I am planning to go with. And I've worked on some other teams as well. Like I had Lucas Moura. I would love to get Lucas Moura out here on the right. But when I did a little bit more digging into Lucas Moura, I just wasn't as much in love with him as I was in FIFA 20. And so I don't know if I'll go with him. He's going to be really expensive. I'll show you. Let me go ahead and show you guys my dream build. I'll show you. This is my dream build right here. So let me bring this up over here. Let me get my dream build up here. I'll show you my dream build real quick. So let's just make another builder. Leave that. I've already got that one saved, so it's no big deal. But my dream build starts with I think a 4-3-3-3, and then I don't even know if I showed you guys how I was gonna play that one. Let me bring that up real quick. Let me go into my teams. So this one right here, the way I'm gonna play this in game, I'm gonna start off in a 4-2-3-1, and I'm going to, you know, the back line is going to be the back line. Talisca will be a CDM. Paulinho will be a CDM. Rafa will be my LM. All right, no, actually, I think I was going to do... Yeah, that's what I was going to do. That's right. I was going to do Rafa as my LM, Rafinha as my RM, Teixeira as my cam, and Bakambu as my striker. So that's how I'm going to play this team in game. And I think Teixeira and Bakambu are going to be the best at banging in goals. It was because Teixeira has 76 shooting, and he also has okay passing when compared to the others. So I think Bakambu and Teixeira is where I'm planning on getting my goals. I thought I was going to do Teixeira as a winger, but I forgot once I made the decision to bring Rafa into the team, I'm going to go with him. So that's where I'm going on that one. Let me show you my dream build. This is if we get the Saudi Prince to take over our team, what we're going to do. I would like to go with Ter Stegen. Or need to search right here. So we would have Ter Stegen at the back. We would have, I'll go through this a little bit quicker. Lenglet right here. We would have Virgil right here. This one would be Kyle Walker, who I think would be the best right back. Yeah, definitely send it to me, LJD. Can you send me a link into the chat? If you can send me a link into the chat, that would be perfect. Then here I was going to put Wijnaldum. Here was going to be Salah. This one, let me see. Let me get this other one right here. We were going to have Mendy. This one was going to be the legend himself, Ben Yedder. We're going to have Conte. Oh, only mods can put a link? Okay. If you want to type it out, LJD, or I can take a look at it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure. If you want to just type it out, I don't know, or put in the, like, let me see. If you want to put, like, at the end of my squad, I have something like this. Let me just type this out here real quick. If you want to just put the last, the last 6 numbers here, this 107393, if you see that at the end of the link, if you're on Footbin, okay, Danilo has his. Okay, perfect. We'll look at Danilo's in 1 second. Let me just finish my dream build, show you this right here. So Neymar is who I'm looking for first and foremost, and then Mbappe. So this is my dream build. This is who I think would make one of the best teams. The only thing, okay, thank you, perfect. I see them coming in now. That's perfect. Thanks for letting me know that, Danilo, that I didn't realize that you couldn't put a link out there, so my apologies for asking for that. So that is perfect. The only thing I think I would improve on this team, I would love to go from Lenglet to Ramos, and I could do that. I get all rid of these ads. I could go from Lenglet to Ramos if I changed Ter Stegen to Courtois, so that would maybe be worth it, but then I think that messes up Ben Yedder, so it ends up messing up a lot of other things, so I don't know if that would be worth it or not, but I think Lenglet would be strong. Plus, we're going to have some other things out there. That could also be Varane. If I somehow liked Varane more this year, then that would also have to change that to Courtois. I don't know, but that's my dream build of what I think would be the best team right now, and if you could just go into barring any icons. But let's take a look at some other people's squads. I see Danilo's out here. Let's take a look at Danilo. Danilo squad going with a lot of French links. So let's take a look. So I see Danilo's similar. Got Mario Hermoso. We'll take a look from the back. So Hermoso, Soria. I think that's a great starting keeper at 6'4". We'll just kind of have to take a look at that. Nacho has the pace. I'll show you. Like I said, I'll try to offer some feedback on all of these here. Let me just get off of this. Just leave that. The one thing I don't like about Nacho is his agility. Now, they did raise his pace. Now, he's got acceleration of 72, sprint speed of 83. He does have decent physical stats, which a lot, like that Mark Bartra card I was telling you about, the one thing I don't like about him, his physical stats are not that great. But personally, I switch to my center backs a lot, so I would probably be controlling them. I don't know if that's going to be the smart thing to do with what they're talking about with defensive awareness and everything like that. I don't know, but the one thing I don't like about Nacho is this number right here, 60 agility. So he may move fine. He's definitely has the pace. I love the pace on Nacho. I just do not love the agility. But if you compare him to someone like the Mark Bartra, who, you see that Nacho has 80 physical, Bartra only has 74 physical. So I'm a little concerned about that. I'm not concerned about the stamina. Stamina is another thing that we should look at early on, because you don't want to just pretty much have to sub off. You're going to have some subs early on, but, someone like even Messi has terrible stamina. Ben Yedder has terrible stamina. So, but for a center back, even 69 stamina will be fine. But I'm fine with Bartra's defending stats, but I don't love that 73 strength and 77 aggression. But I do love his 71 agility combined with that pace. But that's the one thing I don't love about Nacho. But his pace is absolutely amazing. Kappa is one of the best right backs I have seen. Let me show you what I love about Kappa. That's a really good pick, Danilo. Kappa has nice pace, so if you put a shadow on Kappa, he would get a 97 acceleration, 93 sprint speed, which is great at the start of the game. But what I love about him, look at this, strength 86, aggression 86 for a right back. And let's just look up real quick, just to show you how strong Kappa is. Again, we're going to filter to gold. We're going to change our positions to right back. And let's just look at some of the top right backs. Look at Trent Alexander-Arnold, 71 physical. Pereira, 76. Now, Kyle Walker is who I think will be the best gold right back in the game, because he has the pace, because he has the physical. And not to get off on tangents, I know we always go left and right, up and down on here. But what I love about Kyle Walker, he has enough pace. You can put an anchor on him to also boost his strength and aggression. Most of these gold right backs now, they've really done pace dirty this year in FIFA 21. So we're going to have to put shadows on a lot of them, which will only boost pace and defending, but leave the physical alone. I'm of the belief that wing play is so important in FIFA. If you've got a right back and a left back that can body off some of these agile, quick attackers that are coming down the wing, it makes them so much more usable. So Kyle Walker, you can actually put an anchor on and still have enough pace, which would boost his physical as well. So I know we went off on a tangent there. But if you're taking a look at some of these, like Jesus Navas only has 58 physical. So a great card here for, maybe someone you could move to the midfield, but just has no physical whatsoever. So if you look at this, all of these cards just have very little physical. But then you look at, where is he? I guess he was on this tab here. I've done messed up everything. Look for Kappa again. But Kappa has great pace and great strength, great stamina, great aggression. Just absolutely, I really love this Kappa as a right back, and I really kind of looked at fitting him into my team. The one reason I've thought about doing this, I'll just show you again. Again, we're going left, right, center, but just to give you guys some ideas. But this card, I'm worried about being too pricey because a lot of people have been talking about this one. But if we look at La Liga, we have this card, this Porto card right here that's kind of gotten a lot of steam lately. You can see here he's got 158 thumbs ups. And so, he's got really good acceleration, good agility, solid positioning, solid finishing, so he can actually bury some goals. I really looked at doing Porto and Kappa for my team because when a 4-5-1, you can do that RM, RB link, and so they would both be La Liga, both be Spanish, so they would both be 10 chemistry. But I'm worried this Porto card is going to be very expensive. So, but that may be what I would end up doing. And honestly, on my starter team, that's where I wanted to go. I was just a little bit worried about this card being too expensive. And just to show you this for you guys who, I don't know how much you guys pay attention to this, but if you go, let me just filter it again to all gold. If you filter by this fire stat, that will combine their thumbs ups and thumbs downs, and it can kind of give you an idea of what other people are thinking. And maybe I've thought about Fred as well. Fakra, Fred would be fine on another one. I'll look at. You may be talking about Danilo's team, but we'll get there. I had Fred on one of my starter teams. I'm a little worried about Fred being expensive early on too. And if you have Fred and don't link him around other Brazilians, and you have to have other Premier League cards, whenever you get into Premier League cards, they're just going to be more expensive than they're worth at the beginning of the game overall. But you can get an idea of what people are thinking and what may be some of the most expensive cards. Like this Saint-Maximin, who knows if he's going to be good at all this year. But at the start of the game, if you pack Saint-Maximin, try him out, of course, but you may be smarter just selling him around that first weekend league time because he's just going to be so much higher than probably what he's worth. This Zakaria, I've got a mid team, and kind of plan out your teams as well. I know all of us are starter squad, starter squad, but if you focus on, okay, so here's my starter squad, what's my next build going to be? What's my next build going to be? So if you can kind of start thinking about how you can link some of that stuff in. And for example, like say that Conte is going to be 300,000 coins, whatever he's going to be, and you've got one spot to fit him in. Conte may be someone you keep for 3 or 4 builds just because of how good he is. So maybe he'd be worth it if you found him on a decent deal at one point in time because he could survive several builds. So if you can kind of plan ahead, then the players that you can move and kind of build around. But Saint-Maximin is one I think is going to be very expensive at the beginning of the game. The Clinton Mata may be slightly expensive, but generally we have some of those cards every year, these really pacey center backs from terrible leagues. Like last year there was one from the League of Russia that everybody thought was going to be really expensive, but nobody could really link them very well, and then just ended up falling off being another 800 to 1,000 coin card. Valverde could be very expensive. Lamer, I think this is a really strong card here too, but it's probably going to be very expensive. And then here's this one right here, this Portu that I was talking about. I think he may be expensive. So this can just give you an idea of what people are thinking and give you an idea of what cards may be pretty expensive. But let's get back to Danilo's team. Where did I have him? Okay, so here we go. So the one thing I have to figure out, or what I would suggest Danilo is looking for more pace. If you notice on my starter team, let me see if I can bring that up here. Starter squad 2. If you look at this team right here, I've got on my attackers 94 pace. Yeah, that's fine, Mbabu. That's fine, brother. So, like Rafa 94 pace, Bakambu 90 pace, Teixeira 93 pace, Rafinha 91 pace. And then if we look at Danilo's squad, we got 81 pace, 89 pace, 88 pace. And I'm not sure if you're going to play a 4-3-3, that may be fine, but it's still pace, pace, pace. So I would maybe try to find, Bombo would be fine, Akone would be fine. And it's fine. Your striker doesn't need to be at all that. I'm just saying maybe think about the pace, the pace, the pace. So, but I think overall this one looks really strong for links. I really like this Camera left back card. Is a really strong left back. I really highly rate him. I think that would be another one. And another one with decent physical stats for a left back. I've seen a lot of people looking at him. And I'm also wondering what I would maybe suggest that you could maybe do on this team, Danilo. You could fit Matuidi right here. I think Matuidi is going to be an absolute legend. Let's just look at another filter. These filters are really important. Again, versions, all gold. Jacob, if it's a footbin link, if you look a couple chats up, you can see people are putting in like the last 6 digits of the link if it's on footbin. If not, just see, apparently you can't send the link unless you're a mod. But let me just show you this other filter real quick. So we're on all gold. We're going positions, CDMs, CMs, and CAMs. And I did a video previously talking about defensive awareness and attack positioning. Looks like that's going to be huge this year. So if we do a filter on stats and we look, what they call it marking on footbin, but if we're looking at CMs, CDMs, and CAMs with plus 85 defensive awareness, there are only, 7 cards with over 85 defensive awareness. And one of them is Matuidi. Another one I'm really liking that potentially could go under the radar is Ndidi, but again, Premier League, probably going to be really expensive. But this Matuidi card is one I've been dying to get into my team. But you could put Matuidi right here, has solid pace. Like, let me just compare him to someone you have here. That's my team. But like Camera and Andre are both in the 60s. With not as good stats, and Matuidi has 75 pace, 82 defending, 83 agility, 85 defensive awareness. So I would really look at this on your team. Let me X out of some of these. I've got too many tabs open. Get some of this stuff out of here. Okay. So I would really look at this spot right here, Danilo. You could put Matuidi, who I don't think is going to go for a lot. It's just very hard to link MLS players. Not as hard to link French players. It's not like he's going to be 1,000 coins or anything, but I think that could be a really, really strong. And you've got a perfect place to link him right here. You could still hold on to Bamba, could still hold on to Dembele, but if you could put Matuidi here, you could maybe even slide Sanson over, maybe find one other decent pace midfielder. I would keep Sanson. You could maybe get, Andre's not a bad card with that physical, but I still would rather have the pace. So let's take a look at another one, but I'm really liking the team overall, Danilo. It's a nice build. Okay, we've got LJDG's team. Let's take a look at his. His are 1, 10, 500. That's an easy one to remember. So that I see a card I really like early on. This Quincy Promise card is really nice, and you're linking it. Is this a 4-3-2-1? Yeah, so, and a 4-3-2-1 is another one for link options that makes it a little bit easier to link a striker. So Quincy Promise, Teneris, who is another strong card. Akone is nice. This Andre card is not bad. I like his physical, but similar to Danilo, I'm just not a huge fan of the pace. I would rather have a little bit more pace. Pace just allows you to get to overcome mistakes in the game, especially early on, because you're going to be going up against people with those 86 pace, those 70 pace, those less pacey options. So, if you can have that out there, it just makes it so much easier to be able to overcome mistakes, to be able to do other things. So, again, but I'm loving the Quincy Promise. He's another one who's going to be a few thousand coins, but he's not going to be like a Sissoko or Mendy from last year where he's going to be 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 coins. It's just not going to be that expensive. The Akone card looks nice. I do like his. I played with Akone's Future Stars card quite a bit last year. Liked it a lot. Neres is nice because he's got... Neres has the 5-star skill moves, which is great. Ikone is the 4-star and 4-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot. Promise is 5-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot, which is really nice. I really looked at getting Quincy Promise into my team. I just couldn't quite figure out where to get him, but a really nice start. Kuna is nice. And then I see you've got the Clinton Mata at the back. I see you're going to have him off chem, so you would be able to get him up to at least 8 chemistry because you've got the right back link and you have Mignolet. So, that would give you the option to get him up to at least 8 chemistry, which I think would make him usable once you have him with loyalty and with a manager boost. So that could be worth it. The Boyata card is nice. Let me take a look at that one. I don't know if I've even looked at Boyata much. So let's take a look at Boyata. I have looked at him in previous games. I don't think I've looked at his card this year. So solid pace. Again, agility though I've talked about a lot. Not my favorite on agility, but I know he gives you that Belgian link. Let me see what else you can maybe do. I was thinking about someone like Denayer maybe, but then that kind of messes up some of your other links, and then you lose your Hertha link with this Kuna, which this Kuna card could be nice as a cam, something like that. So overall, I really liked it. Oh, and this Renato Sanchez, I did not mention him earlier, but he is another one that I do really like. A very strong starter card. I loved his team of the season card. A really, really strong card. Just another one that's going to be like Paulinho, strong everywhere, solid agility, solid defensive awareness, but also solid everything. Solid pace, solid shooting, solid passing, solid, and he's very physical. So if you could somehow get him with something, Boyata still gives you nightmares for after his time at Celtic. I've got your brother. But yeah, so I really like this Renato Sanchez. I think he's a great starter team option. So I'm digging the team for sure, especially this Quincy Promise and how you got him linked in there. So let's take a look at who else we have. We have Vipers. Take a look at this one here. So we've got another one with Bamba, Renato Sanchez, really strong options. And I see another one. I see a lot of people going with this Andre card. And I'll show you. I've looked at this Andre card a good bit. Just the only thing that disqualified him for me was his pace. I mean, I'm looking for pace. Let me see if I can find them. Too many Andres. Where is he? There he is. Okay. Promise could be a little pricey. That's what I was saying. But still, being Eredivisie, they're still not... I mean, there's some solid Dutch links, but not the best in the world, and who you're going to link them with, the Frankie de Jongs, the Wijnaldums, those are going to be really pricey. What I think Promise will be in that 5,000 to 10,000 price range. Okay, thank you, Babu. I'll take a look at that one. We'll build that one on here and be able to take a look as we go. But this Andre card, but again, just for me personally, when I see this less than 70 pace, they're just already disqualified for me. And, but what I do like about him is that he has nice physicality, but he doesn't have the strength. And that was the other thing. So when you look at his 84 physical, you think he's going to be just this physical monster out in the midfield. And that's maybe where you could handle some less, not as much pace. If they were someone kind of bossing the midfield, big and strong and tall out there. But he's not really that build. He's 5'11", not super strong. His defensive awareness is okay, but it's not as high as like that Matuidi I was talking about. Not quite as high as I would like to see, especially right here. Now, if this was 86-80 and we had these other stats, I'd say yes, Andre all day long. But when I see this pace, for me personally, that just disqualifies him just because of the pace. Exactly, Danilo. That's one of the ways you can make money earlier, getting those Premier League players. You want to snipe cards early. That's one of the best things to do on the web app early. Just try to snipe cards, snipe certain options. But let's keep going on this. This Herrera card is one I do like a lot, and you can see the difference. Look at this. This Andre is 80 rated. Herrera is 81 rated, but in my opinion, the Herrera is miles better just because he has more pace, a lot more shooting, similar defense and physical stats, better passing and better dribbling, so I do like that. Arias is nice, and you've got him linked with this Murillo card. This Murillo card is a really strong card. I'll focus on this one again one more time, but I really like this Murillo. But he is harder to link unless you're going with Colombian options, but he has nice pace early on and 76 agility. And I'm not going to go through the filter again, but we did a filter for players that were over, center backs that were over 75 agility, and there was only like 5 or 6 of them. Murillo was one of them. So this Murillo card is really, really strong. I like this card a lot. So, yeah, I figured you were going to play him more as a CDM, but that's what I'm saying. Even as a CDM, I would want the pace. That's the reason, like, last year, someone like Sissoko was so expensive because he doesn't move as well because of his height, but he still had the pace. And this year, someone like Zakaria is going to be I think this is going to be the Sissoko this year. He doesn't quite have the links to forward attackers, but you've got... you can link them at the back with like an Mbabu, with the Akanjis, with some of the other Bundesliga CBs. I'm not as in love with the Bundesliga forwards, but if you look at Zakaria's pace, 83. So, and it just allows you to make up for mistakes when you have players with pace. It just pace just does so much in the game. But yeah, the Renato Sanchez we talked about, we liked a lot. The other thing I would say would kind of depend on exactly Mbabu. That's what I told Mbabu earlier. I was surprised you didn't have Mbabu in his starting team, but I understand. So you need to change your name to Rare Gold Mbabu. But the other thing, think about what starting lineup you're going to go with, because if you're going to play with 3 midfielders, that could be fine. But still, I would like a little bit more pace. If you're going to play a 4-2-3-1, then you've got one card here that's going to be an attacking role that doesn't really need to be an attacking role. But if you're playing a 4-3-3, this may work for you. Or even if you're playing a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, that may work for you. And then you've got your pacier players up here. This Ousmane card does look nice. Lozano looks nice. That's another one with great pace. If you can get them linked out here, it works really well. So Lozano, great pace, great agility. So this is another one, great starting option for this Lozano right here. And, linking them with Ousmane is nice, and this Bamba is strong. But, I would say your main pace is going to come from Lozano. Ousmane has solid enough pace, and Bamba has solid enough pace. But let's take a look at another team. We've got, I think Mbabu's is the next one. So we're going to have to build Mbabu's. Mbabu gets the Burger King love. We'll build a team for him. So Mbabu's got a 4-3-3-4. Yeah, the Burger King firepower right there, Mbabu. We'll start at the back. Yeah, send another team, brother. This is the best way to learn. Some like even that Boyata card. I hadn't even really taken a look at him. I've looked at so many, and it's good to see what other people are thinking on some of this stuff. This is great. So at the back, got Areola. The one thing, that's the first one to worry about. I know you're looking for cheaper teams, but I feel like Areola is going to be a bit pricey just because of his reputation. But Areola could, I don't know. He's been OP for years in FIFA. We'll see if he comes back around. Okay, so you have Koundé and Zuma. So look like, okay, so Firpo would be your left back. Push the Whopper button. We need to push the Whopper button. So the Firpo card looks nice. Let me just build it out first, and then we'll go from there. So Koundé, I talked about him earlier. Koundé is one I would really like to get in. Now, the one thing about Koundé, I'll just say this real quick. And again, I know we go left, right, up, and down here, but as I think of things, I want to make sure to get them out there. If we look at Koundé's card, which is a really, really strong center back starting card, and again, because of the 77 acceleration, 77 sprint speed, but also 71 agility, makes a big, big difference. But who can you partner Koundé with? Look at Sevilla. You've got this Acuna card, which I talked about could be an amazing CDM. And you've got Diego Carlos, who's going to be crazy, crazy expensive. But if you somehow ended up with an untradeable Diego Carlos, something like that, that's why I didn't put Diego Carlos in any starter teams. But, you could end up with a Diego Carlos untradeable, something like that. And if you're looking for links, then you've got a really nice link with this Koundé right here. Plus, then Koundé could also link with Ferland, Mendy, Diego Carlos. You could then link outside to either Navas or Kappa. So you've got some nice links out there. Acuna, again, like I said, I would not use Acuna as a left back because you need more pace at left back, but he could be a really epic midfield player if you're able to work that out. But just wanted to point that out, that Diego Carlos would be a really nice link. But again, Diego Carlos, I'm slightly worried about him because of his agility of 68, but it's in that higher 60, so it's still not poor by any means. And sometimes cards certainly play better than their stats, and he definitely did in FIFA 20, so hopefully he will again in FIFA 21. So I think I saw Zuma. I'm pretty sure that's who you had next. So Zuma, yeah, Reece James at right back, going with some Chelsea boys now. And then who did we have? Kondogbia, another big and tall. If you see his physical, that's one. This is what I was talking about earlier. But the difference in someone like Kondogbia. All right, sounds good, Danilo. Take care, brother. The difference between someone like Kondogbia and Andre is Kondogbia is a presence out there. You see that strength of 94. So I would be more willing to accept the acceleration and sprint speed, that lower acceleration and sprint speed. Thank you, Vipers. I'll take a look at that in 1 second. But I would, like I said, be a little bit more willing to take a risk on this lower acceleration and sprint speed for someone that's able to kind of be a presence out there in the midfield, which Kondogbia certainly can be. He's not going to move great, but that presence out there, it's you're not able to get by him. 94 strength can make a difference. So I would just kind of put that out there. So Kondogbia, then we had Morales, who was a FIFA 20 legend. We have, who else was next? Okay, Oxlade-Chamberlain. And you got to get your Liverpool boys out there. Fati, I think Fati could be expensive, even though he's a 76. Sometimes those cards like who am I thinking of? Vinicius Jr., he's sometimes expensive early on, even though he's not worth it. He will definitely come down, but just I'm talking about at the very, very beginning of the game. And Yaki Williams could be kind of pricey, just because of that 94 pace, and then Minamino. So I knew you had to get some Liverpool boys out there. So again, overall, I really like this team. I think you've got a setup. What I would imagine you're playing, or if I was playing it, would be in a 4-2-3-1. I would have Kondogbia and Oxlade-Chamberlain as my CDMs. I'd have Morales as my cam. I'd have Iñaki as my striker. Fati and Minamino on the wings. So definitely a strong team. I got a little bit low on pace on my right back at 80, and Zuma with 67 pace is a little bit low, and also I think Zuma moves like a truck in the game, so that would be the only thing I would say there. So yeah, Zuma with 52 agility and only 60 acceleration. And again, on my players, I prefer acceleration over sprint speed just because I want them to be able to make those quick bursts. Like I want my center back to be able to see a pass coming in, make that quick burst over there. Generally, if you've got a center back running and chasing at someone, you're already in a world of hurt, but it does happen, so it certainly doesn't hurt to have the sprint speed. But Zuma would maybe be a slight bit of a concern, and maybe Reece James maybe could look at these two spots. But other than that, a really strong team. Be interesting to see how Kondogbia plays out on all of that. But overall, really strong team. I think that'll work well for you in Babu. So let's take a look at Jacob's team. Okay, I'm not sure. Jacob, if you're here, let me know what formation you were using to link everybody, but I'll just try to put people out here. Let me just clear all this off. Would make it easier. So it looks like you had a French keeper. Okay. Yeah, which he looks like he could be a strong keeper this year. Also as a common card, could not, maybe won't be quite as expensive. And Jacob also had Diallo. Diallo is one I really like. I'll show you what I like about Diallo. Diallo is another one with nice, decent pace for a center back and nice agility. 75 pace, 73 agility. And as we showed, there's just not many center backs this year with decent pace and decent agility. So he's actually going to be able to move a little bit. So I do really like Diallo. So, okay, Hermosa. Okay, so you're already another one that I really like, Hermosa. So this is building up to a strong team. Okay, you have Arias at right back, so you probably have it this way. And then Arias over here. Arias is solid. Again, a slightly low on pace. I would rather have my fullbacks at like that 85 plus, that you can maybe get them mid the upper 90s depending on what chem style you put on them, especially because, like I said, pace just makes up for so much. But still, not a bad link, and you're getting a strong link here between Hermoso and Arias. And then, yeah, Camera is a solid right back. I'm looking at other people's teams. The Camera, that's more what I'm talking about. 88 pace out of a fullback is absolutely amazing. I think that's just going to help you out a lot. The other thing you can do, if you put an anchor on him, that he's still going to have enough pace. But just being able to keep up with these fast wingers that people are going to throw at you just allows you to be more competitive. So, Camera, okay, so you had Promise somewhere, okay. Let's see how you have Promise linked in. And you had Jao Felix somewhere. Okay, so you have Malin. So Malin must be how you're going to link Promise. And Malin is a strong card as well. He was a boss at the beginning of FIFA 20. Did not last that long, but Malin and Promise is another strong link. The starter objectives with your starter squad. I got your brother. All right, so you had the Herrera, the Atletico Madrid Herrera. So that would go with, okay, so I see you've got 4 Atleti players over here. So that would make for strong links. Get rid of some of this. And who else did you have? Not sure who your other cam you were meaning. So I'm not sure who the other cam you were meaning, Jacob. If you're here, let me know. I wasn't sure who you're talking about there. But overall, Promise, I really like. Malin, I really like. The Jao Felix could be a good card. You know, he's one of the cover boys, or one of the ones they're kind of promoting. So there's always been a theory in FIFA that the cover stars, that maybe kind of died last year with Hazard, but they always kind of had this thought that the cover stars are the ones they're featuring, like this year Trent and Holland and Jao Felix. You know, they're kind of pushing these up-and-coming stars. So, hey, Danilo, how you doing, brother? So there's always been a theory that they're going to play better, and Jao Felix was a strong card at the beginning of last year. Certainly would be fine. This Marino card is fine for sure. I'd like to see a little bit more pace. Herrera is solid overall. Both of these are solid overall. Have enough pace to get you by, but they're not going to last you long. Malin and Promise are really strong cards. Camera is really strong. Diallo is really strong. Overall, I really, really like this team, so I think that works out really nice. Then it looks like we have Vipers has another team. Let me get another team. Just leave off this. I'll show you. This is a team. I haven't really dealt with this one, but I'll show you. This is one I was looking at building for maybe a mid version. And, you know, you can see here, I'm trying to get Zakaria. I'm trying to get a Kanji and Babu out there. This Lucas Hernandez card looks really nice. You don't like to see the 79 number. Okay, I see you. But this is kind of a team I was looking at for maybe like a few weeks into the game. Like I'd like to get Heung Min Son. That's another really nice option we have now. Heung Min Son on the left along with Reguilon. So if you're running a 4-5-1, that could be a really nice option. So that's, again, kind of just think about what you're trying to do. Where Reguilon is Spanish, he's going to link with a center back of someone like... I'm not talking about a starter team right now, Adam. I'm talking about a few weeks later. This is like a mid-build. This is a mid-build right here. All of these cards would be pretty expensive. But, you know, Reguilon and Son will be a nice link. And, you know, it's also where Reguilon is Spanish. He's going to give you a nice link to like a Sergio Ramos as well. So, yeah, this is what I was saying if you guys didn't hear earlier. This is what I'm talking about building maybe a few weeks early on. And what I was saying, you kind of want to think, what is your next team? Even this Zakaria is probably going to be 40 to 50,000, I kind of imagine. Bruno will not be, I'm not sure how well he's going to play in game. I didn't like putting him right here. But I'm thinking Martial may be pretty OP this year, and I needed to link him with someone. I didn't really like this Bruno link. Like I said, I haven't put a lot of thought into this because I'm still trying to build starter teams. I was mainly just bringing this up because I wanted to bring up another link so I could put out Sniper's other team. But yeah, Son is going to be, like, let me see if I can bring up, what was Son? I had Son in one of my early teams last year, but he's very, very pricey. And let's go back to FIFA 20 players. I have not used the pack opener simulator. But let's just see, what was Heung Min Son's price range last year. Now, Heung Min Son may be a little cheaper this year where he is an LM. That makes a big difference on his price because he's not quite as easy to link. But yeah, you can see I probably bought him, you know, around this range, probably around 400,000. He may not be quite as expensive this year, probably more like 300 to 350,000, just because he's going to be an LM. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be pricey, and it takes a while before they start. You can see there, even at the start of the new year, he was still at like 240,000 around Christmas. Then they start having the plunge and just come down and down and down. All right, that'd be awesome, Danilo. But yeah, you can just see the price range, and this happens every year. They're gonna be cheaper, then they're gonna rise. So it's gonna be a little bit cheaper, then a little bit of a rise, then they're gonna just start coming down and down and down. You know, with some momentary spikes up and down. Especially, it's always best buy on Monday, sell on Thursday. I know we want to build our weekend league teams. I was just looking at your team, Jacob. So let's see. So we were looking at Vipers had sent another team, I believe. 111256. Let's take a look at that one. The Vipers team here. Okay, we got Pickford in net. Pickford had a big decrease, went down from 83 to 81. Now, my first thing right here, I'm worried Suyunchu and especially Aki is going to be really expensive. Jarstein had a big drop, but I'm worried Aki is going to be expensive just because. Now look at this. Talk about filters. Let's go back into FIFA 21 players. Go filter all to all gold. Positions, center back. Now we know. Okay, now let's do stats, agility. So if we want 70 plus agility on a center back. And if we want it in the Premier League, there's one card, and that's this Aki. Danilo, are you a Gold 1 player now, brother? I didn't know you were hitting Gold 1, Danilo. That's nice. So Aki is the only Premier League center back with plus 70 agility. Plus, he's got the Netherlands links, the Manchester City links, the Premier League links. I'm worried he's going to be a little bit pricey. So, just my opinion, this is a really strong card. I'm just worried about the price versus what he is going to bring to you. Now, Suyunchu is one I really liked as far as his team of the season version last year. It's going to be a solid card, but this acceleration 65, sprint speed 72, throws it off maybe a little bit. I would rather it be 72 acceleration, 65 sprint speed. It's not horrible agility, especially comparing it to everyone else, but you know, it's not exactly what all you want to hit. This Dembele may be pretty expensive. Bergwijn's probably going to be expensive. Now, overall, I really dig the team. I just think it's going to be a pretty expensive team. This Dumfries card also, I feel like, is going to be slightly slow. Tierney, I think, is an awesome left back. But like I said, I'm just a little bit worried about the pricing here. If it's worth putting this many coins into someone like Dembele. Like, let's see if we can find Dembele from last year. He was similar to Sissoko. He kind of had that early rise, but he never quite caught on quite as much as Sissoko did. So Dembele's gold version, which I think, what did he drop to, an 80? Is that what he dropped to? Yeah, Dembele dropped to an 80, so he doesn't have the same pace or anything, but you can see what Dembele was going for early. 20,000, 19,000, 17,000. They did. Now, one thing, Dembele's is a little bit weird for anybody that wasn't here to start at FIFA 20. There was an objective for a once to watch Dembele for free, so that even affected his market a little bit. So Dembele is, you know, like I said, going to potentially be pretty expensive. So I would just be cautious of that for sure. But, you know, overall, I really like the team. This Martinez card is not bad by any means. Definitely give you some good links, especially for Quincy Promise, and to link everything off. But, you know, again, I'm all about the pace. And so let's see. I think that's everyone who has submitted a squad right now. I will show you a couple other cards that I'm maybe interested in. As you guys are, like, Richarlison looks like he could be a nice card, but he's going to be pretty expensive. Yeah, I'm hoping we're going to have a nice Premier League Player of the Month. It could be Son, it could be Zaha, could even be Harry Kane for the assist he's had. I don't know for sure, but we could have a pretty nice Premier League Player of the Month item coming out early. So, I mean, that's going to be one we're going to want to try to build up some of our rewards, try to build up some stuff so we can do that if it comes out. Just be careful on completing SBCs. You want to make sure that they're going to be worthwhile for you. Because once you have those untradeable rewards, you can't get them back. We will have some nice SBCs at Scream Team time. I'm sure they're going to do the same thing where they have a Scream Team and then they have a Scream Team 2. And also keep in mind on the ones to watch, again, I'll just stress this again. If we look at, like, let me just see here. Like, let's look at Timo Werner's ones to watch card. Or let's just go back here. Let's go back to Foot 20 players. Let's think of someone that had, let's see, let's just look at some ones to watch cards from last year. And so just be careful. Don't go too crazy on ones to watch cards. It's hard to say. But I mean, if you look at this, think about how many ones to watch cards featured at any time in the game, and there were very few of them. This Frankie de Jong was a nice one for a little while. Ben Yedder was nice for a while, but the majority of them, what you've got to remember is that they're going to get better versions, and they may not even go to something else. They maybe would have something like Lozano had a Foot birthday card, so it's not gonna be as good of a card. Dembele never got a ones to watch card. João Felix never got an upgrade. Joe Linton never got an upgrade. So Luka Jovic never got an upgrade. So just be cautious with them. They're going to release other special cards. So at Scream Team time, those will actually be boosted cards. So those are going to be better than gold cards, better than one Team of the Week card. So just kind of keep that in mind. But let's look at someone like Frankie de Jong. Let's just look at some of his spikes here. He had an early Team of the Week last year. I don't remember if he was Team of the Week 1 or not. But if you look at some of his pricing early, and you can see like some of these fluctuations, here is where he was off the market just because, well, that's just on PC. Let me just filter this to just Xbox. I'm going to do that. Would make it easier. Actually, I need to do this. Xbox. Okay, it would be easier. So you can just see the ups and downs, and this could fluctuate from game to game. If someone thinks he's going to get a wants to watch card, you know, you can see here 180,000, 230, 259, even into December, 225, 236. But you can see the fluctuations: 208, 230, 264. So wants to watch cards for me are more for playing the market than they are finding ways to get into your team. They're great fun, but they're just generally not the players you're going to end up playing with or wants to watch items. So just keep that in mind. Let me get off of that. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys just a couple other cards that I am interested in, that I have put a lot of time into looking at. Like Thiago, again, I talked about this one at the beginning, an epic footballer. But when I see 64 pace, that just almost disqualifies him for me. He's just not going to have the pace to play well in FIFA 21, unfortunately. Even though he's got decent acceleration, insane dribbling. I mean, look at that dribbling. Absolutely insane. Great passing. He just does not have the pace to keep up with the players in the game. But another card I like. Let me see if I can find it. Which one I was thinking of. Did Greenwood ever get his stats? Greenwood still does not have his stats featured in, but go back to our filters, and I'll show you guys again another card I'm really interested in. We go back to our marking. Can you filter for me? And change it over to gold. A card I'm really interested in, but I think is going to be really expensive, is this Allan. I think Allan has been one of my favorite. Hey, Blue-Eyed Girl, how you doing? The Allan has been one of my favorite midfielders for the last several FIFAs, but I'm thinking he's going to be absolutely epic again. I love his acceleration sprint speed. He's one of the few with 87 defensive awareness, or with plus 85 defensive awareness. Yeah, exactly. All about that pace. Early access will start September 1st, or no, October 1st if you have EA Access, or EA Play, I think is what they call it now, the equivalent of what EA Access is. And I think the last I looked, I'm paying for it on an annual basis. I think it's $30, something like that. But I think I looked at it recently. I think it's like $4.99 a month. I didn't see the annual option, but if you do buy FIFA points, it's worth it because you get a 10% discount on all your FIFA points. Do you think a girl looks prettier with brown hair or blonde hair? Let's take a poll. Okay, boys, let Blue-Eyed Girl know if you think a girl looks prettier with brown hair or blonde hair. So that will be interesting. My wife has blonde hair, so I'm kind of partial to blonde hair myself. So I've got to put that out there to back my wife. But as far, like I said, we'll have to keep an eye on Allan, how expensive he will be. This is his first year in the Premier League. He's been in Serie A with Napoli for several years, been epic for the last several versions of FIFA, so we'll see how he does. Keep an eye on that one, a card that looks really nice. Matuidi I've talked about, looks really nice, really strong, and I think Ndidi may be a really good card. Dom says brown, and Babu says brown blonde, Danilo says blonde. We've kind of got a tie right now. And then the other filter I want to show you guys, if we look, just get rid of this here and get rid of this here. And Babu, there you go, brother. The other thing I've talked about is attack positioning could be the most important thing this year. There aren't a ton of cards with plus 90 attack positioning, and these are ones that you're going to be able, now depending on what they do to Deadeye, I guess let me filter this one more time. I don't think I've done this filter. Let's filter it to 89 attack positioning. Because if they have made that change to Deadeye, like Hunter, I think should also do attack positioning plus 10 based on what I have read. But these are ones with plus that you could get to 99 attack positioning. And remember from the pitch notes, I think I still have it up over here if it will load. So if you read this right here, this is what I have kind of based a lot of my stuff on. But this means an attribute of 85 for attack positioning might feel good and have a pronounced effect, but 90 is significantly better, and 99 is exponentially superior. So when you start talking about exponential growth on something like this, that makes me think if you have someone with 99 attack positioning, it could just make a huge difference. So this filter right here I've liked for just trying to see. So someone like Jamie Vardy, again, going to be like Allan, going to be very expensive, but you can see Ben Yedder's another one that's going to be up there. So again, I really like these filters for trying to figure out who you're going to do. Let's do a filter for this. Let's do... Okay, it's only in the Footband app. I got you, brother. 84 positioning, 89 here. And so now you can see some of the cards like Heung Min Son. Havertz is in that range. Depay is in that range. Sane is another one going to be super duper expensive, but maybe worth it. Now Callejon, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Callejon, because I don't know if he's going to have a card released in game or not. Oh, Lautaro, that's who I was trying to think of. Lautaro was my absolute legend last year at when he had his Team of the Group stage card released. I think his card looks absolutely fantastic again for a striker. He has decent enough pace for a striker, which you maybe want to boost that with something. Can maybe put like even a Hawk on him, maybe put a Hunter on him. I wouldn't mind boosting his agility, but I think it may be good enough. But this Lautaro Martinez looks really strong again. Was one of my favorite cards in FIFA 20, and has the strength, the aggression, able to body off certain cards. Heading maybe back a little bit this year. Oh, thank you so much, Blue Eyed Girl. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much, Blue Eyed Girl. But this Lautaro Martinez, I'm really, really digging that one for the strong positioning, strong finishing. Would want to boost his shot power some, so I don't know if you'd want to do a sniper on him, if you'd want to do a Deadeye. I don't know. We'd have to mess around with Chem Styles. I still haven't seen an official release saying if Chem Styles are going to be identical to how they've been in the past, or if they are going to adjust them. I saw one release that said Deadeye, which has been plus 15 positioning, plus 15 finishing for a while, that it was going to now be plus 10 positioning. So that may be an indicator of how important attack positioning is to EA this year. I really don't know, but anyways, boys, this is going to wrap it up for now. I just wanted to kind of go through some of our starter teams, kind of get some ideas what people are thinking, let you know my starter team, some of the cards I'm really looking up, but this is going to be the most fun time of the year. Going to be trying to go live a lot, so definitely make sure to subscribe. We'll be doing a lot of different live things, trying to hang out, do a lot of fun stuff. I'll appreciate that, Mbabu. But I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.